Have you ever thought about the money you saved, but never touched? It was a hidden drawer in the old wardrobe. No one opened it anymore, only you. The wood smelled of winter, and every fold of the aged paper held more than value. It held intention. The money wasn't just for buying things, it was a silent time capsule, storing hope, fear, and a very particular kind of caution. Now, so many years later, the drawer remains full, but empty. The silence began there, not in sound but in absence of use. Every saved coin, every forgotten note buried in old ledgers, grew lighter over time. What was once a reserve became a relic. What was protection turned into prison. You said, "One day I'll need it." But the day never came, and perhaps it never will. The money is still whole, but you are not. There was a small blue iron box where you stored small bills. Above it, a rusted crucifix. That's the image. Faith and fear side by side. The money wasn't spent because you believed the future was dangerous. But life went on, and the threat never came. Only the emptiness of someone who waited too long. On the wall, the calendar stopped in September 1997. That was the moment you decided to save, and stopped living. The story of your time wasn't told by the days you worked, but by the days you refused to live, waiting for a safer tomorrow. The money is still there, only it. The rest evaporated like an old perfume. Have you felt that weight too? Of saving so much for a day that never arrived? If this memory ached somewhere silent in you, write "I felt it" in the comments. We're not as alone as we seem. What would you do with time if money stopped being fear? On the top shelf between accounting books and faded photos, there's a list of wishes that never became plans. Learn guitar, see the ocean, take my mother to Aparecida. Small longings that were stacked like old receipts, folded, postponed, forgotten. You said you needed to be ready, but readiness became an excuse, and time, a silent collector. At some point, the money stopped serving. Not because it ran out, but because it weighed more than it freed, like an anchor made of gold, shiny but unmoving. You kept accumulating, even when there was nowhere left to go. With each saved note, you lost a spring. With every interest statement, you lost a candlelit dinner. It wasn't about the amount, it was about the absence of surrender. Some people collect stamps, others collect perfumes. You collected waiting, weights that never erupted into life. Weights that now live in your body as stiffness, in your shoulders as weariness, in your gaze as ash. The money was a promise, but it became memory. And the cruelest part, memory of something that never happened. You believed that someday there would be time. But time doesn't bend to savings. It moves, unrelenting, without liquidity. What was once protection became an ornament of a life not lived. And now you look at that growing pile with a bittersweet emptiness. It's still there, untouched. But your desire is not. If this absence spoke to yours, write "I waited too" in the comments. Someone might need that courage. Some coins age faster than people. You walk through the house in silence. Every room feels like a postponed memory. The armchair where you almost wrote a book. The desk where you almost learned to paint. The balcony where you almost invited someone to stay. Everything remains, except you. The body is there, but the presence is not. Because where almost lives, time decays slowly. Life became an exhibition of unlived intentions. Sheets never changed, shoes still in their box, a plane ticket never printed. And in the midst of it all, the saved money keeps growing like moss. Rootless, directionless, simply occupying space. You saved so much that you forgot to spend yourself. The ghost life is not made of death but of absence. It's you sitting at the table staring at an empty plate. Not for lack of food, but for lack of hunger. It's a tragic luxury, to have and not use, to possess and not feel, to be and not live. The money sits there like a mute irony. It could have been a bridge but became a wall. You look at your hands, they still work. But what do? Count? Calculate? Organize? How long has it been since they held something without purpose, just for beauty? A lock of hair, a stone, a face. There are things we can't buy, and yet they cost us everything. If you felt that house too, write "there's still time" in the comments. It might be the first step toward opening a door. What happens when we die with everything still saved? Night has come. You sit on the edge of the bed staring at the floor like you're searching for traces. Beside you, a shoebox filled with bank statements, documents, expense notes, estate plans. You have no heirs, but you're afraid of leaving a mess, a legacy of order, a testament of control, as if you could compensate in the end for the life you didn't spend. You thought caring for the future was wisdom, but slowly you realized the excess of care was only fear in disguise. And fear, when it has nowhere to go, becomes rigidity. There's no more risk, no more surprise, only plans for a tomorrow that never ceases to be tomorrow. The soul ages when it doesn't express itself. And unspent money is like a notebook without words. It can't be written in, nor burned. It only serves to remind you that there was something to say. But silence won. You walk to the kitchen, open the fridge, it's full as always. But there's no hunger. Only the automatic ritual of providing even without need. The impulse to buy, even without desire. You became the caretaker of a life that doesn't move. A janitor of yourself. And perhaps the saddest part is realizing that nothing was missing, except the courage to spend what only had value when used. Time, touch, exchange, laughter. Money without affection is dry sand in the pocket of the soul. If that image hurt somewhere inside, write "I don't want to leave like this." Your words might be light for other keepers of the void. Maybe the most precious money is the kind that teaches us how to let go. On the table you find a single bill folded in 4. It's not large, not rare, but it feels old, as if it carried decades inside your fear. You hold it for a moment. For the first time you feel no guilt, no pride, only presence. It's just paper, a paper that waited over 40 years to feel your skin without calculation. You don't quite know what to do with it. There's nothing left you need to buy. No one left to gift. But one gesture remains, to use it, not out of need, but out of honor. To honor the life you didn't live, but that still pulses in some crack of time. You walk outside. On the corner, a child is selling hand-drawn pictures. Wobbly colors, cheap paper, but eyes alive. You choose one, the bluest one. You give the bill and smile with something between pain and relief. For the first time, you feel you've spent something with truth. Life doesn't want your money. It wants your presence. And when presence returns, even forgotten money can become a bridge. You no longer need to keep everything, only what matters, and let the rest flow. In the end, the soul doesn't ask for balance, it asks for meaning. If this story found your emptiness, write in the comments, "Today I let go." Then, share it with someone who guards too much. And if you wish to walk with us, subscribe. Shared silence is healing spoken softly.